Alright, welcome back everyone. Today I'm taking apart a bi-xenon Audi A3 headlight. This is the USDM headlight, and you can tell it has a nice big orange corner light or parking light, and it's pre-facelift. You can see right along the bottom it doesn't go down and cut in. That's the facelifts kind of do that. And one of the other main differences is the LED running light or daytime running light on the facelift. It also goes along here. This unfortunately kind of has a Ford Fusion look to it when it's lit up. That's something I'd like to address, but I'm not going to get to it at this point. This headlight is being retrofitted to a bigger projector, a better projector, actually an older projector, but one that's going to throw a lot more light down the road. I was not happy with the light output from this car. My wife's halogen H7 CRV did so much better than this xenon projector, or bi-xenon projector, which means it has both a high and a low. It's just kind of looking at some of the form, the function. Well, first, to get this out of your car, I'll put a little video of how to remove the bumper. Once you have the bumper off, you can go ahead and unbolt it. There's a bolt here, and the reason you have to take the bumper off is, if you can see these actually slide into the bumper. You got 4 tabs there that line up in the bumper, and then there's a bolt that goes here under the bottom. So, well, let's get into it. So, to pull the lens off, these are actually perma-sealed on and very difficult to work with. There's a YouTube channel, Fly Ride. That guy is all things headlights, and he's amazing. He has an excellent video of how to deal with perma-seal, so don't look to me, look to him. Just Google Fly Ride perma-seal, and you will find his video. But anyways, just kind of looking around it. So if you want to change your turn signal, it's here. It just pops off, and this changes out. Now, if you change this to an LED, what it'll do 2 things. One, it'll probably be brighter. As long as you get an amber LED. A white LED will not be brighter during the day. So get an amber LED that'll be brighter both at day and night. Make sure that you plug it in correctly, because LED diode means one way, so it won't light up if it's backwards. Means that just pops in there. So if you can see in there, all the orange reflecting. If you upgrade to an LED, it won't have that, so it'll kind of look a little bit sleeker. That's one thing I want to do in playing with these headlights. 2, there is your bulb. It is a 35 watt D3S. It's a decent headlight, has good output. Decent headlight bulb, I should say, with good output. Here's an adjuster. Here's an adjuster. This is a heat sink for the LEDs and the LED controller. And this headlight has auto adjusters. So basically, I brought a little toy here. For demonstration purposes. So let's pretend this is your headlight. Got it on. It's right there. And you load down the trunk, and you have some friends in the back. Mind you, this is an Audi A3. You should not put friends in the back. It's cruel. Now your headlights are pointing up. The auto adjuster says, hey, we're going to level out and point those lights down. You unload your trunk. Your friends get out of the car. Your auto adjuster says, hey, boom. Now your headlights are level again. I'm actually going to have another video out about how to adjust, or what to do if you break the auto leveler. It's basically right here on your driver side control arm. I think my Audi A3 only has 1. I think the DCC or MagRide cars have 4, 1 on each corner, but I actually broke mine the 3rd time I changed my suspension, so I'll put a video out about how to fix that cheaply, because it's not cheap. Okay, let's get back to the headlight. So underneath, flip this around so you can read it. This is the controller for the HIDs. I'm not sure what all it controls, but sorry, did I say HID? I meant this is the LED controller, the daytime running light. I believe the turn signal and stuff were programmed in there, but don't quote me. There's a good chance it just does the LED strip. If we flip this around, here is the HID controller. As you can see, it's D3S, D3R, D4S, and D4R controller. That's kind of cool. It has a maximum of 1300 volts DC. It steps the voltage way up from the 12 volt input. It's rated at 2000 hours at 35 watts. Just pretty standard. And if this goes bad, they're pretty cheap to replace. You can find them all over eBay. One of the things I like about Audi and Volkswagen, they're very good about keeping parts the same for years. If you owned any Audi Volkswagen in the mid-90s and up, it's the same headlight harness. So that's kind of a fun fact. All right, so let's get into taking this apart. Or let's take a look at it. Basically, this is a US part. This is a parking light. As soon as you turn the headlights on, it's on all the time. It just kind of lights up the corner. You'll notice the Euro cars don't have it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't like the way it looks, but you need a T25. I'm just gonna go ahead and start taking things apart. See what's in here. And I've already taken this apart once. Pro tip, you could use this to hold your screws. There should be 10 of them, and they are all identical. Okay, so you can see there's 2 screws, a tab, a tab, a tab, and then one more tab. Pushing back on it. So you can see how easy it would be if you had the right part to swap this to a Euro style. I want to show you guys something really cool. So on this LED diffuser, or daytime running light, right here, and back in here, is what lights up this whole strip. When I first bought the car, I thought there was a ton of LEDs all along the way, but that's not the case. So watch this. Take my little flashlight. The whole thing lights up. Try that with a brighter light. Look at that. It's not even lined up good. So you could put a little LED, run it off the signal for that, or the power for that, and you could have an amp return signal. I think that would be super cool. All right, so moving along. Next piece of the puzzle is to remove the diffuser. There are 1, 2, 3, I believe just 3 screws. Okay, just be extra careful. This is for GLA. This is actually also a diffuser. It has no light that feeds it. It just basically reflects what's running off of there. Kind of get a better look, getting a little closer to the projector. This little guy, these little LED strips, 2 pins and 1 screw that hold this on. And just unclips, safely set that to the side. Now we can remove the next layer of shroud. So under here, it pushes on right here and here. And then there's 1, 2, 3 screws. Like I said before, it's cool. These are all the same length. Don't have to think about it too much. So this pops off, and this is actually 2 pieces. That's a separate piece from this. So looking in here, basically this is the auto adjustment I was talking about. So when doing a retrofit, you don't want to lose any of that. And my good friend Michael, God bless his heart, did all of the hard work on this. He's like, I want a challenge. And he said this was a challenge. I mean, so much of it had to be trimmed to work. And you can kind of look and see even this had to be trimmed because the factory lens is actually about 2 3/4 inches, and this is a 3-inch lens. So it had to be modified. Now the cool thing is it'll accept multiple lights. So it's not like you have to use this for this project, but this one allows us to use the factory hardware. So it'll be a true side-by-side when we do plug it in and see, hey, how much better is this than the factory light? And if you look right in there, that's the motor that controls, it's also a hella part, that's the motor that controls the headlight adjuster. So, you know, when you get your friends in the back, this motor's going to kick on and pull the headlight up. It's going to, then you can see what you need to see. I mean, other than taking it any further apart, there's not too much to look at. You're going to see the LED controller a little better. You can see the lights come out of here and run across the bottom of the headlight over to the other side. Now, we're going to compare projectors. So this is the factory projector. This cutoff shield sits like this, and this lens, it was actually bolted separately onto a piece of plastic, and it adjusted as such. A couple things, as you can see, it's not perfectly smooth. We got some lines in there. There is a mirror finish, I will give them that. Got a little roughness up here. It's kind of small. It's a spring retention clip for the lens. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll put a screenshot up right now of my biggest problem with this light. If you can see, here's the cutoff shield. So this is be your dims. Flick the brights, it activates the solenoid, and your brights are on. It's really that simple. You think it'd be more dramatic, just that, but you can see this extra hump my finger's on? Use this torch right here. That's kind of what they call an RV shield. On a lot of projectors, it's actually screwed on, so you can take it off and then you get more light down the road. This basically cuts off any visibility of a hot spot on your low beams. That's one of the reasons the low beams are so bad. The way the low beams project in front of the car is basically it lights up to the left. This pulls in the light right in front of you where you need it. And then on the passenger out in the field and in the ditch, it's not bad. Leaves a lot to be desired though. So if you were on a budget, you could open these up, file this down smooth to more of an ECE style, and you'd be good. And here's the factory lens. It's Fresnel. It's also kind of ellipsoidal. We'll look through that in the camera in a minute. And it has a foreground limiter. What that does is basically just limits the amount of light right in front of your car. Which, that's not actually a bad thing, but let's pop this lens out and look through it. Okay. Let's get something to look at. Give you something to focus on so you kind of get an idea. So you can kind of see, this isn't the worst of lenses, I don't think, but it still does cut down on output. See without it how clear it is. With it, you can see the squares, kind of some of the distortion. Here's what they call a frosted lens. I believe this is out of a Nissan, I'm not sure. See, it's a little more clear. And here's the lens that's going in the car. It's actually a clear lens. I can't get it any closer, it's still in the projector, but as you can see, it's still, I mean, you can still read the names on the car. So I want to say this is good for like 10 to 15% more output. Rule of thumb, it does change. Old, here's the new, so we're 3-inch lens. It's clear. It's bolted here so you can tune it out if you would need to. Perfectly smooth reflector bowl. Huge, ridiculously safe solenoid. And you can see the cutoff shield. It's what they call an ECE style. It's sloped. It's not so like, some of them are like a brick wall, like a this is a nice sloped. It's easy on the eyes. And So dims, brights. So that's what's in there now. That's been upgraded. So all right, I'm gonna put this in hyperspeed and you can watch me put it back together. Yeah. If that doesn't line up, this won't work at all.